Hi, and welcome back to the Break the Cycle podcast with me, your host, Alice. This podcast is for women who are fed up of losing and regaining the same weight over and over again and being stuck in the all or nothing self-sabotage cycle with their fitness journey. I help you build effortless consistency with your mind, body, and life so that you never have to start over again. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. I hope you're having an amazing week. I am having a really good week, and it is actually Sunday when I'm recording this episode. It is sunny outside. I'm going to my mum's, who is making tea for me later. And yeah, just having a good week. I went out for a walk with Fern this morning. We are getting back into some training. I've got a 9-month-old Labrador, if you aren't aware, and yeah, I've not really been on it with her training the last couple of months because she was really good, and I feel we've just let things slip. And because she's from working lines, she needs things to do. Like, she needs more than just going for a walk. Like, we've been walking aplenty, but she'll still just wander around the garden looking for things to do, looking for sticks to eat, looking for flower beds to dig up, and yeah, just generally not being as good as she was. So we're back on it with our training, which, to be honest, I enjoy. Like, I really do enjoy training her. She's so easy to train, and she's so responsive. She's very clever, and I know that it's fulfilling her needs. And we're going to be working on our retrieval because, obviously, being a working dog, she would be retrieving every week if she was actually working. So I want to bring that side out of her and give her that fulfillment. So anyway, that was just a little side quest. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking you through how to stay consistent when life gets really busy or really unpredictable or just a bit all over the show. If you find that your routine and your results fall apart when life gets busy, when it's not predictable, when you're not in your usual routine at home, this episode is going to help you massively, because if you've not got a current setup right now that enables weeks like this to happen and you know exactly what to do when they do happen, then this is going to be very, very valuable for your journey and for your weight loss progress. The reality is that life rarely goes to plan, let's be honest, or you don't have 2 weeks that are the same. You know, work can be really stressful. You might work different hours, you may work longer days, you may just have things crop up, personal, at work, with yourself, whatever it is. You will have things coming up. You'll be going away, you might be having days out, you may just have things going on that you couldn't plan for. And so it's like, what do you do in these times so that you don't just throw the towel in and have to start again on Monday? It's about building routines that are life-proof. I call it life-proof consistency. Being able to be consistent with your routine more often than not, or knowing what to do if you need to adapt things for a certain day or a certain week. One thing I'm a big fan of is building habits that support your results. If you're not building habits along the way that you can rely on when you have tricky weeks or when life is really testing you, it's going to be hard to keep your results, and it's going to be hard to have that long-term transformation. And so having daily anchors is what I like to call them. Things that you come back to, things that you do as like a minimum viable option that week. So things like hitting a certain number of steps. You might usually aim for 10k. Can you aim for 8k this week? That is just an anchor that you can tick off that week. It might not be as good as it is some weeks, but just keeping some momentum going is the important thing. Sleep is a huge anchor for me. Whatever's going on, I always prioritise my sleep, because I know I feel better, and therefore I'm going to show up better, eat better, train better, all those things. Hydration is a big one as well, making sure that you are still drinking your 2 to 3 litres of water. That is something that can stay. And then what movement can you actually stick to? If you usually get in 3, 4, 5 sessions that week and you know it's going to be really difficult, just aim for 3, just aim for 2. Something is always better than nothing, and so reducing the expectation on these weeks is going to have you feeling like you've actually showed up for yourself instead of feeling like a failure because you were going to aim to try and be perfect, and then it's just been really, really unrealistic that week. Having life-proof routines means that you can start building that life-proof consistency. So for me, a morning walk, or at least a walk every day outside, is a non-negotiable. Granted, I sort of have to do it because I've got a dog. But if you don't have a dog, having a consistent routine of walking every day can be something that you always come back to because you do it anywhere. And if it's a really busy week that's really testing you, it can just be a 10-15 minute walk outside. If you usually get out for half an hour, 45 minutes, don't feel like, oh, what's the point because I can't do it this week. Cut that time in half. go for 15-minute walk around the block and have that as something that is one of your life-proof routines. You always get them walking, no matter what. And if it's 5, 10, 15 minutes, it doesn't matter. This leads me on to talking about imperfect action, which is basically to summarise what I've just been speaking about overall. Taking some action, doing something rather than nothing on these weeks is going to have you feeling a lot better than trying to stick to your normal routine and not hitting it and then feeling like a failure, or then just feeling like you've let yourself down going into the next week, trying to catch up, trying to make up for it, doing an extra session, doing a load more steps, cutting your calories. That's exactly what keeps you in this all or nothing yo-yo cycle. On the weeks that are busy, on the weeks where it's hard to get to the gym, on the weeks where life is really testing you and things are going on, taking imperfect action is a skill that you need to build. And this is what I mean by going for a 15-minute walk if you can't do your usual half an hour, doing 2 gym sessions if you can't do your usual 3 or 4. Taking this action means that you're keeping momentum going. The last thing we want to do is stop everything, because then it's harder to start again. And it's that whole stop-start cycle that we want to avoid. We want to avoid stopping at all costs. Even if you are doing the bare minimum, it is better than completely stopping, because having some momentum and some routine means that you're going to be able to get back to where you were a lot quicker. And to do these things, you need to have that mindset of something is better than nothing. And I drill this into my clients. Something is always better than nothing. Not having that mindset and being able to come away from that all or nothing mindset of, if I can't be perfect, if I can't do everything 100%, then what's the point? Because just being in that mindset is keeping you in this cycle of going up and down, being in a yo-yo, being all or nothing. We need to cultivate this mindset of whatever I can do today is good enough. And having that encouraging self-talk means that you probably be able to do a little bit more than you could have done if you decided that the week was a write-off. And the last bit that's going to help you stay consistent in a busy, unpredictable week or even season of your life is to actually reflect on things consistently and reinforce what is working well. So having a practice like a journaling practice can be absolutely amazing for this. So at the end of the day, reflecting on what went well, 3 things that went really well that day. Acknowledging that you are putting one foot in front of the other and that there are some things that are going okay, because our mind often likes to hyper focus on the things that we're not doing and that we haven't done consistently or that we've not been able to do. That leads you to feeling pretty shit about yourself, let's be honest. And those feelings are going to bleed into your actions. If you're not feeling good, you're not going to be showing up and you're not going to be doing what you're capable of that day or that week. And so reflecting at the end of the day, 3 wins, and then similar thing in the morning is to actually write down 3 little targets for that day. So let's say, use the examples I've spoke about, 8,000 steps if you're struggling to get any more than that. Making sure that you have a protein source with each meal, even if it means that you're not quite hitting your protein, but something is better than nothing. And let's go for a gym session, getting in a 45-minute gym session or even a 30-minute gym session if you're not able to do a full hour, let's say. And then reflecting on what is going well and then reinforcing these patterns. Consistency with less is a lot more beneficial than trying to be perfect with a few things and then not getting there. So reinforcing, right, these things I can actually manage to do. So reflecting on what went well, and then reinforcing those things in your mind and then in your everyday actions as well. This is where the long-term transformation happens and where you build that real life-proof consistency so that when life gets busy and unpredictable, you're able to handle it without going into complete fuck it mode and ending up 10 steps backwards from where you are now. It's so important, and it's a skill to be able to navigate when life gets busy and to still prioritise yourself rather than putting yourself at the bottom of your pile. And this is where you become the woman who keeps it off. Doing these actions on busy weeks, on stressful weeks, is building up your identity of somebody who is still consistent regardless of what's going on around them. And aiming for slightly less on those weeks is building up that identity and is going to pay off for months, years to come. So that you don't need to start over because you didn't stop in the first place. As I said, it's important to not just come to a complete halt with things. Do what is the minimal viable option that week and what you can stay consistent with. Even if it's less than you have been doing, it's a lot better than completely stopping everything and then being in that position of, oh shit, I need to take action and I need to do this because I want to lose weight. We don't want to be, we need to get you out of that constant cycle of being all or nothing, and therefore building your routine and your consistency around your life and building the skills to be adaptable and flexible on the busy weeks, on the stressful weeks, on the unpredictable phases of life is going to take you so far. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and if you found this useful, share it with a friend or drop me a DM with your biggest takeaway. And if you're ready to stop starting over with your weight loss journey, then coming into my world is going to be the best thing for you. And my signature program, Break the Cycle, where you learn the mind-body method, is going to teach you exactly how to navigate these busier weeks so that you can still lose weight and keep it off for good. See you in the next episode.